But it's an end around to Deebo Samuel coming right, turns the corner, and goes into the end zone. San Francisco!
What a play to catch a defense.
Eagles can't mount another comeback, fall to 49ers.
The field, Nick Morrow just bounces off 19.
Philadelphia. After weeks of living on the edge, the Eagles' uneven play finally got the better of them in a lopsided 40-90 loss to the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday.
Tackle by Deebo Samuel, runs for a first down, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, 10.
We're not good enough right now, Eagles veteran center Jason Kelce said. Obviously, disappointed in the way we performed. Didn't get it done today. But we've still got some games left, a lot of football to learn from. I still have the utmost confidence in everybody in this locker room on both sides of the ball. This game doesn't do anything to sway that. The Eagles had trailed at halftime in each of their previous 4 games but managed to rally and win all of them, tying an NFL record. That string came to a halt as San Francisco built a 49 halftime lead, then kicked it into a high gear after intermission, handling Philadelphia its second largest loss under coach Nick Sirianni. Its worst loss was by 25 points to the Dallas Cowboys in Week 18 of the 2021 season, with the Eagles resting many of their starters for the playoffs. We didn't coach good enough, didn't play good enough. Simple as that. And why do you not do that? Well, you have to give credit to them too. That's a really good football team. If you don't come out and play your best against the guys that they have and the coaches that they have, it's going to look like that, Sirianni said. So we have to coach better, have to play better. We have a lot to clean up. Philadelphia struggled in the red zone early in the season, but had turned things around of late, going 10 for 10 on scoring touchdowns in the red zone over its past 3 games. The issue resurfaced Sunday, however, with the Eagles failing to score TDs on their first 2 trips inside the 20-yard line and settling for field goals in each case. I feel like we started with good rhythm, good tempo, good execution for the most part. We just kind of weren't able to connect and execute like we wanted into the red zone, said Philadelphia quarterback Jalen Hurts, who finished 26 of 45 passing for 298 yards with 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing. When you're playing a good team like that, every little thing matters. The Philly defense, which was on the field for 92 plays against the Buffalo Bills last week and was operating without starting linebackers Nakobe Dean and Zach Cunningham due to injury, faltered after a strong start, yielding 456 yards of offense. Niners wide receiver Deebo Samuel scored 3 touchdowns on Sunday. According to Next Gen Stats, 115 of his 116 receiving yards came after the catch. We didn't do a lot of things right, said Eagles defensive tackle Fletcher Cox. We didn't tackle, we didn't cover, we missed a bunch of plays. The Eagles 10-2 now turn their attention to another big matchup at the rival Dallas Cowboys 9-3 next week. Suddenly, the race for the top seed in the NFC has gotten tighter, with the 49ers 9-3 and Detroit Lions 9-3 also in the mix. There was some chatter amongst Philadelphia players as they exited the field about seeing the San Francisco team again. That's a very real possibility. Eagles 49ers was the most likely NFC Championship game matchup heading into the week at 38% according to ESPN Analytics. It's a possible rematch, Eagles left tackle Jordan Mailata said. But today, you've got to look yourself in the mirror and say they were the better team. We didn't execute. We failed to execute and didn't capitalize on the opportunities that we had, especially in the red zone. Against a team like that, who's well coached and well disciplined, you can't afford those missed opportunities. Kansas City Chiefs bemoan final moments of loss in Green Bay. The Kansas City Chiefs saw the end of Sunday night's game devolve into chaos, with the final 109 featuring an unnecessary roughness penalty, a fumble recovery that was overturned, an ejection, and a controversial pass interference non-call. When it was all said and done, Kansas City, needing a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to force overtime, instead saw Patrick Mahomes pass into the end zone on the final play knocked away as the Green Bay Packers held for a 27-19 win. The Chiefs, hoping to tie the Baltimore Ravens and Miami Dolphins for the best record in the AFC, instead fell to 8-4 following their 3rd loss in 5 outings. and what was a talking point in the Chiefs locker room afterward, officials elected not to throw a flag for interference as Packers defense back Carrington Valentine appeared to be draped over Chiefs wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling on a deep pass from Mahomes on a 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line. Had the penalty been called, it would have put the Chiefs inside the Green Bay 10-yard line with 44 seconds remaining. Valdes-Scantling said after the game he asked the officials why there was no penalty. He didn't even acknowledge me, Valdes-Scantling said. Asked whether it was a penalty, Valdes-Scantling replied, "I was trying to get the ball and ended up on the ground. I don't know what they saw, but I tried to catch it and didn't have an opportunity." Mahomes would eventually get his team into Packers territory, but the Chiefs stalled out at the Green Bay 33 with Mahomes' final 4 pass attempts all landing incomplete. Obviously, the guy was probably a little early, but at the end of the game, they're letting guys play, Mahomes said about no penalty being called on the pass to Valdes-Scantling. "I'm kind about that. I'd rather you let the guys play and let the guys win on the field, but it's hard. I can't be wanting a flag. I have to try and go out there and win the game myself with the rest of my teammates." Referee Brad Allen, asked about the play after the game, said in a poll report that on every play where there may or may not be pass interference, either offensive or defensive, the covering official has to rule where the contact materially restricts the receiver. And in this case, the covering officials were in a good position and ruled that there was no material restriction that rose to the level of defensive pass interference. Earlier on the drive, Chiefs running back Isaiah Pacheco was ejected from the game and penalized 15 valuable yards for taking a swing at the Packers player. "You can't do that," Chiefs coach Andy Reid said afterward. "You have to stay composed." Mahomes acknowledged the penalty hurt the Chiefs but said he appreciated Pacheco's energy. "I love the fire from Pacheco," Mahomes said. "That gets us going as an offense. Obviously, he got a flag in the situation. But we were already in a bad situation. So I never want to take the passion away from the guy. He'll learn from it. I'm sure he won't make that mistake again, but that's the stuff that we need on this team in order to have the success that we want to have." The Chiefs' chaotic final drive began with Green Bay defensive back Jonathan Owens being penalized for hitting Mahomes as he was going out of bounds on a 10-yard run, a personal foul that put the ball at Green Bay's 45-yard line. "In my mind, I just wanted to hit him before he went out of bounds to try and knock him back to keep the clock rolling," Owens said. "It was under a minute, I believe, so just keep the clock running. Just try to make our team play. If you can't get a legal hit on a quarterback, take it every chance you get. I knew it was legal." Kansas City wideout Rashee Rice then appeared to fumble, with Green Bay's Corey Ballentine returning it 68 yards for that would have been a game-sealing touchdown. But replay showed that Rice was down before the ball came loose, so the Chiefs retained possession.